Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to be filming a reading vlog. So I'm going to be filming over the next week or so just because I'm in a little bit of a reading slump at the moment, and I find that when I'm in a reading slump it's always great for me to start a reading vlog because it really holds me accountable and makes me pick up books and makes me actually read things. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to see where the week takes us. In terms of my reading plans, I'm going to do a bit of mood reading really and see what tickles my fancy throughout the week. But I think the first book that I'm going to start is God Killer by Hannah Kanner, because this is a book that I've been really excited to try. So this is a fantasy book that was released this year, and oh my goodness, don't know if you can hear that, but it is thundering outside. It's a massive storm at the moment, which is kind of scary but also kind of cozy. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, God Killer. So I have been eagerly anticipating this book. I've heard fantastic things about it. It's the first in a adult series, and all I know is that we follow a main character who is a god killer, and then one day she finds this god who can't be killed, and honestly, that's all I really know. It's quite short, which has me concerned because I tend to prefer chunky fantasy, but yeah, we're going to give it a go and see how it is. So yeah, I'm going to start this now, and I guess I'll check in with you next time I have a reading update, and we'll see how much I can get read in the next 7 days. Hi everyone, so it is a little bit later and I thought I would check in and give you a reading update because I've read quite a bit of God Killer now. So I have read the first 100 pages of this book, which is quite far through because it's only a short book. So I've made a decent dent in this one, and what I will say is the prologue for this book is excellent. It's one of the best prologues that I've read in a while. It throws you straight in with the action. It was super intense and exciting. It immediately had me hooked. We were basically following this young girl called Kissin and her family who are being offered up as sacrifices to the fire god. So there was lots of drama and I was really intrigued. But unfortunately, after I finished the prologue and I started reading the actual text of the story, I started to slowly lose interest, and I'm really surprised because I know a lot of people really love this one, and I was really hoping to find a new favourite here, but for some reason I'm just not gelling with the writing style and I'm just not connecting with the story or the characters. And I don't know if that's just a me thing because I am feeling quite slumpy at the moment, or if it's just that the style of writing doesn't work for me. But what I will say is that the chapters are very short and it's multi-POV, so each chapter is from a different perspective, so it does feel like you're jumping around a lot between different characters, and I felt like there hasn't been enough time dedicated to each character for me to feel fully invested in them and to fully understand their motives and to really understand them as a character. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm not feeling so invested in the stories or the characters. And also I would say that the writing style in here is quite plain. It's quite a straightforward writing style and there isn't too much description, and so for that reason I'm not feeling fully immersed in this story because I tend to prefer things that have a little bit more description and perhaps a little bit more of a flowery writing style. So yeah, I've been having some issues with this one. I've just found myself thinking of other things when I'm reading the book, and it's been taking me a while to get through because I'm having to reread things several times because it's just not going in. I don't know why, it's just not like hooking me as much as I wanted it to. But this is only a short book, so I do think I'm going to continue on with it, and I'm hoping that things will start to pick up the further that I read through the story. I just realised I never actually explained to you what this book is actually about. Sorry about that. This is a adult fantasy book. It's the first in a new series, and it takes place in a world where there is a lot of unrest and there's been a lot of chaos between humans and gods. It's clear that there was this big war that happened previously, and since that war the gods have kind of been banished and it's now illegal to worship any gods, but some people who live in this world still do hold value in gods and they worship them in secret. So yeah, there's quite a lot of like political goings on within this book, and we follow several different characters, and the main characters are trying to get to this sacred city, which is the last place where there are old gods, and they're doing it for various different reasons. So we follow a young noble girl who is going to this city because she actually is connected to a god. So she actually has this god companion, and it's like a little small like animal god, which is so cute, and she is trying to sever her bond with this god because they're kind of trapped together for some reason that we don't really understand. And she is being taken there by Kissin, who is actually a god killer, but she's doing it to protect this noble girl, and she's traveling with her to this sacred city. And then we also follow the friend of the king. So there's a man called Ello, I think his name is, and he used to be a knight and he used to fight for the king, but they had a disagreement politically and haven't spoken to each other for a while. But then the king comes to him asking for his help, and he decides to take that on, and he decides to travel to the city for the king. So he's on a quest for the king, and I will keep that a secret because I don't want to give any spoilers away. But yeah, so basically all of the main characters are on a journey to this city where the last gods remain, and that's kind of all I know really. So yeah, we'll see where things go from here, and I'm really hoping that I enjoy it the further that I read through, but we shall see. Anyway, I've been talking for ages, so I'm gonna head off now, make a cup of tea, get some food, and I'll check in with you next time I have an update. Hi everyone, so it's the next day and I wanted to just hop on here and give you a bit of an update because I did do quite a lot of reading last night. So I am now up to page 179 of this book, so I've only got a little bit left. I think it might be less than 100 pages, I'm not sure, but I'm nearly at the end of this book now and I have been enjoying it. It's definitely picked up for me. I feel like there's been a little bit more action that's happened, and I've started to get to know the characters a little bit more, and I have started to feel a little bit more intrigued by some of the mysteries in this story. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that because I was having a hard time with the beginning of this book, and I'm glad that I am slowly becoming a bit more invested. I definitely don't think this is going to end up being a favourite by any means, but I am, you know, quite enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things round out. So yeah, that's that one. And I also just wanted to let you know that I got some book mail. So I got this package from Amazon today, and I'm pretty sure that it's a book that I pre-ordered, so I thought that I would open it with you. So let's have a look. Okay. This is a book that I pre-ordered ages ago, and honestly I forgot that I ordered it, which is always so fun because it means that when the books do finally arrive in the post, it's kind of like Christmas and you're getting presents that you bought yourself a while ago. So that's so fun. Honestly, I can't remember what this is about other than I'm pretty sure it's a book about books, and it's got an amazing cover. So this is called The Book That Wouldn't Burn, and it's written by Mark Lawrence. So inside on the flap it says, Evar has lived his whole life trapped within a vast library older than empires and larger than cities. Livera has spent hers in a tiny settlement out on the dust where no one goes and nightmares walk. The world has never noticed them, but that's about to change. And there's also a quote on here from Robin Hobb that says, "If you like dark, you will love Mark Lawrence." So that's interesting that Robin Hobb said that. It also says on the very back, "All books, no matter their binding, will fall to dust. The stories they carry may last longer. They may outlive the paper, the library, even the language in which they were first written. The greatest story can reach the stars." So yeah, it's obviously a book about books and I'm excited. It's a lot chunkier than I was expecting it to be. So yeah, I feel like it's going to take a little while to get through this one, but I'm excited. There's also a quote on the front from George R.R. Martin that says, "An excellent writer." So yeah, I'm intrigued. So yeah, I'm excited. And also this is going to look so stunning on my shelves because it's so pretty. Anyway, I am going to head off now and make my tea and sort myself out and do some reading because I'm really keen to finish this book tonight because I am actually going away tomorrow. So tomorrow is Friday and I'm actually driving down to see my family for the weekend, and I want to take different books with me, and I don't know, I just want to be sort of finished with this one before my weekend away so that I can, I don't know, take something a little bit lighter with me maybe. So yeah, that's going to be my goal. Whether or not we will achieve it, we shall see. But yeah, that's going to be my mission. So yeah, I'm going to head off now and I guess I'll catch up with you later. Hi everyone, so it's Friday and I thought I'd jump on here and give you an update because I did actually end up finishing God Killer by Hannah Kanner. So I read a lot of this last night and then finished it off this morning, and yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed by this one. I just feel like it fell a little bit flat for me, which is really surprising because I've heard so many people have really enjoyed this one, so I was really hoping that it was going to be one that I would really love. But yeah, I just feel like the pacing was a little bit off for me. I think I mentioned earlier that the prologue was really exciting. It definitely started with a bang, but then towards the middle it started to drag, and then there was a lot of good action towards the end of the book, but I feel like by that point I'd kind of lost interest, and if I'm being honest, I was kind of flicking through and skimming the pages towards the end because I just wanted to kind of finish the book, which isn't a good sign. But yeah, I just didn't feel like it felt very real. I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the character moments and the relationship moments in this book felt quite predictable and a little bit heavy-handed, and I don't know if that's just because I've come off the back of reading Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, which is a very slow fantasy book that is really excellent at building organic relationships and characters, and I think that's just set the bar for me now, and you know, I'm kind of comparing it to that, which might be a little bit unfair. But yeah, so all in all, there were some interesting moments in here, there were some cute moments, but I just didn't love it as much as I wanted to, which is such a shame. But I do think I probably will continue on with this series just because I do have some intrigue, and I don't know, I'm hoping that this is going to be one of those that just improves with time, and now that I'm starting to get to know the characters a bit more, maybe I'll start to feel a little bit more invested in the story. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I'm glad to have finally finished this one. And then I also wanted to let you know some books that I'm going to take with me away on my weekend. So I am actually travelling down to see my family this weekend, and it's going to be a busy weekend. We're doing lots of wedding planning bits and it's going to be quite full on, so I don't know how much time I'll have to read, but I thought I'd take a few options with me just in case I get some downtime in the evenings and things, and I also just like to have a little selection just in case. Just so that I can like choose what I'm in the mood for, I guess. So I have a couple of books that I'm going to take with me. The first one is A Spindle Splintered, written by Alex E. Harrow. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, I think. And I'm just quite intrigued by this one. It's nice and short, so it's perfect to pack with me because it's not going to be heavy in my bag. And it also has quite a lot of illustrations and things throughout. So I think this might be quite a fun and easy read. So I'm going to take that. I'm also going to take The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. So this is a book that I recently picked up and it's a horror novella, and I just really was drawn in by this cover. It's so creepy. But yeah, this one's nice and short as well, and I'm just very intrigued by the premise of this one. So I'll give you a read from the inside. It says, myths are full of lies, this is not one of them. Fleeing the downfall of an empire, a mermaid and her plague doctor companion escape into the eerie shadows of a wintry forest. Amongst the bark and snow, they are drawn into ancient games for ageless children, a murderous hunt of blood and sacrifice deep in the woods, where three who call themselves saints rule over them like gods. Trapped in a feverish nightmare of masked monsters, stitches and surgeons, and needle teeth, the mermaid must embrace all of her cruelty and hungers to free the children. Doesn't that sound so interesting? I don't know, I just find it really unique, the idea of there being a mermaid with a plague doctor companion. Like, I wouldn't normally put those two things together. So yeah, I'm very intrigued, and it also has some really creepy artwork on the end pages. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by that one. So I'm going to pop that in my bag as well. And then I also just wanted to pack a graphic novel option, because they're always nice and light and easy to flick through if you've got a spare, you know, 10 minutes here and there. And the one that I'm going to choose is Lightfall, Book 2, Shadow of the Bird. So this is a really sweet middle grade graphic novel duology, and I read the first book in this series fairly recently. I think it might have even been last week, and I really enjoyed it. It's so fun. The artwork is so bright and colourful and just fun. And yeah, it's a sci-fi middle grade, which is something that I haven't read a whole ton of. So yeah, I thought that might be a nice fun one to pack with me and take away with me on this weekend. So that's going to go in the bag as well. So yeah, those are my reading options, and I guess I'll keep you updated with what I choose and how much reading I get done. And yeah, let's go on a weekend away. Hey everyone, so I'm back home now if you can't tell. I had a super busy weekend. I feel like I always do this when I go home. I always think that I'm gonna have loads of time to read and loads of time to film and chat to you, but I just end up getting carried away with all of our plans and spending time with my family. So I'm sorry I haven't filmed a whole ton over the weekend, but it was such a nice time. I had lots of nice moments with my family. We did lots of wedding planning things. We met up with our caterer. We went to our wedding venue. We spoke to our wedding venue coordinator lady. I had a dress fitting. I had my hair done. So it was a full on weekend. But yeah, I do have a little bit of an update for you in terms of my reading, even though I didn't have a huge amount of opportunity to pick up a book. But I did start and finish A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. So this is a short novella, and it's a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale. And honestly, I didn't know a huge amount about this one before I went into it. I just know that I enjoy fairy tale retellings, and I've heard really good things about this author, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I'm so glad that I did, because this was so fun and it was really different to what I was expecting. So in this story, we follow our main character, who is a girl who has a terminal illness. So this is a modern retelling, so it's set in modern day times, and we follow this girl who's been given a week's prognosis. So she's dying, and it's her birthday, it's her 21st birthday, and her best friend throws her this birthday party, which is with the theme of Sleeping Beauty. And at the end of the night, once everybody's left, her friend dares her to go and prick her finger on the spinning wheel that they have up as like decoration in this party. And so she does it as a dare, and she ends up getting transported to this alternate reality, and she finds herself in this palace, and she meets this princess called Primrose, and she finds out that Primrose is basically the Sleeping Beauty that we know from the classic fairy tale story, and she's actually cursed, and she decides to try and help her break her curse. And we follow the two of them as they form this friendship, and as they both try to save each other from their you know, their curses, as it were, or their, you know, unlucky situations. And it's very much a story about friendship, it's very much a story about taking things into your own hands, you know, making your own choices and not being ruled by fate, I guess. And it has some surprisingly emotional moments in here as well. I feel like friendship is a real theme in here, and love, and the things that you'll do for those that you love. And it was just really fun. I know it deals with quite a lot of heavy topics, but I definitely feel like our main character uses her sense of humour and her sarcasm to cope with the difficult things that she's going through. And she has this really strong voice in this story, and she's just really easy to kind of fall in love with, and to, you know, just really get on board with. And it's just, I just really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something quick, I would definitely recommend checking this one out, and I'm definitely going to read some more of this author's work. So yeah, that's that one. And then the only other update I have for you is that I am currently reading The Last Argument of Kings, I think it's called, by Joe Abercrombie, which is the third and final book in the First Law trilogy. And yeah, my fiance and I are actually reading this one together, and we got through quite a lot of it on the drive to and from my hometown. And so I think we're about halfway through that book now, which is really good. And we're both really enjoying this series. And I always find this series really hard to talk about because the plot is quite complicated and it's quite meandering, so it's not easy to kind of succinctly describe what the plot is about. But it's essentially a grimdark fantasy, and we follow a bunch of morally grey characters in this very grim, gritty world. And the main characters are a man called Logan Ninefingers, who is a barbarian. We follow Glockta, who is a member of the King's Inquisition, so he's basically a torturer. We follow Giselle, who is a nobleman and a skilled fencer. We follow Bayaz, who is the first of the Magi, so he's essentially like this really powerful wizard. And we follow Pharaoh, who is a ex-slave, and she is now a fighter. And yeah, it's just a bunch of really interesting characters to follow. And as I said before, they're all kind of morally grey. You know, no one's necessarily the good guy, but you kind of can't help but, you know, root for some of these characters, and it's just really fun getting inside their heads. And Joe Abercrombie has a real skill at using humour to lighten things when you need it, considering this is such a grim and gritty world. So yeah, it's a really entertaining series to read. If you're a character-driven reader, I would definitely recommend this one. Maybe not for you if you enjoy things that are a little bit more fast-paced, and if you like things that have, you know, a clear plot right from the beginning, because as I said, this is quite a meandering plot, and it's very much focusing in on the characters themselves. But yeah, we've both been really enjoying that one, and I think that's all of the updates that I have for you. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this video here. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening to me rambling on. I hope it hasn't been too boring. But yeah, thank you so much. If you did enjoy this one, please do give it a like and subscribe if you want to see some more from me. And I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!